Hello and welcome to RIT SportsZone. I'm Melissa Bromley. Since knocking off top-ranked Stevenson in their season opener, the RIT men's lacrosse team has been sitting atop the Division III rankings. The #1 Tigers a perfect 13-0 facing #9 Union in a showdown for first place in the Liberty League. In the second, off the face-off, Tyler Brooks-Lambert finds freshman Ryan Lee, who scores his 31st goal on the year. RIT led 5-2 at the half. In the fourth, RIT only up 1 when Taylor Wisman nets one of his 3 goals on the afternoon. It was 7-5 RIT. Eddie Kisa had a big day for the Tigers too. He scored 3 goals, including this one in the fourth, as RIT held on for an 8-7 victory over the Dutchman to improve to 14-0. RIT's rise to the top can be attributed to their potent attack. The Tigers have one of the best scoring offenses in the nation, ranking 3rd with over 17 goals per game. As SportsZone's Emily Clark reports, the offensive charge has been led by 2 surprising newcomers.
Now will dish it over to Wisman.
Last minute of play in the corner,
1 minute to go. Is diving in front of the goal. Wisman feeding it down low, and that's the goal today for Casey.
So why did you choose RIT? Were you looking at any other schools, or was this always kind of your end-all be-all?
I came here in grade 11, I think it was, and I loved it the first time I was here, so my decision came to RIT.
RIT, being in the national championship and being a good team, you're going to get recruits and you're going to get the players you want and stuff, and I want to play with the best players there are. The first time I heard about RIT, it was the national championship last year. I watched the game. It was probably the most exciting game of the weekend. I was pretty impressed, and then just the recruiting process, I didn't really talk to them too much. I talked to a bunch of other schools, and then I had eligibility problems and stuff, so I talked to Coach Wilkins, our assistant coach, and he kind of got the ball rolling on getting things started from there.
How do you feel like you were able to just fit right in with the team?
We practice pretty much every day, and coach is pretty hard on it, so you get comfortable with the guys that you play with and stuff like that. So, I've been playing since I was 7 years old, so lacrosse is kind of like a natural thing for me, but it was tough. The players are a lot better in this league and everything like that, so I just adjusted because our team is pretty solid, and the guys work really, really hard, so it helps me in the games.
I didn't really expect it. Coming in as a freshman, I didn't know what was going to happen having so many older guys, but after fall ball, so many practices, the week after the break, there was 2 practices a day. It was just getting the grind on and working hard.
White ball, clear it up!
I think there's still some learning going on with both of them, but they're very talented players, bring a little something different to the table. They actually both kind of have a connection with each other too, a natural connection that, they know where each other are, and I think they work well together down at the attack. The reason why they're doing well is because they've got a great cast of characters around them that supports them and gets them the ball. So, I think that makes it a little easier of a transition. It's not like the game is on their shoulders every time out. They've got some other teammates that really help them through it.
Now, in terms of the other freshmen, do you see yourself stepping up and taking a leadership role?
It's kind of hard to be a leader as a freshman because the guys are so much older. They know it a lot better, but I guess coming in, being a starter since game 1, it's helped a lot being a leader out there on the field.
What are your expectations for yourself in the rest of this year and then your next 3 years?
I guess just keep striving and playing a lot of playing time and starting on the field and then doing whatever it takes to get the wins.
Both again bring very different looks to the team and bring some great ability to the team. I'm just hoping they continue to do well in the classroom and continue to work hard on the field and improve every day.
Welcome back to SportsZone. He captured Conference Diver of the Week honors 9 times en route to securing a spot in the NCAA Division III Regionals. As we discovered, Junior Matt DiPaolo felt right at home as he earned an invitation to compete on his sport's grandest stage. Now you had your zones here where you clinched a spot to go to nationals.
Yeah.
So what was that like, being at home and clinching that for the first time?
That meet was pretty interesting because when I came in like on 3 meter, I was pretty nervous because the level of competition was like really tight. And I like messed up my first 2 dives and knew I had work to do if I wanted to make it on 3 meter. But I mean, that was a fantastic experience. I like didn't expect to make it the first night, but yeah, that was awesome.
So going into nationals, what was your mindset? What were you hoping to achieve?
I mean, our goal for the entire season was just to make it to nationals. So by qualifying, I had pretty much accomplished everything that we thought we would be able to at the beginning of the season. And I also knew that it was going to be a level of competition that I had never seen before. And I was really going to be happy with however I did at nationals regardless. I was also battling like a pretty serious sickness. I had a severe sinus infection and like an ear infection and had a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah, what was going through your mind knowing that you had that sickness and this was a great opportunity for you?
Well, I was like really mad about it because I've worked really hard the entire season. I would like to be at like peak performance to be able to do my absolute best, and being hindered by something like that, it's really like out of my control. So as disappointed as I am about it, there's like nothing I can do except for just trying to keep pushing through the exhaustion and doing everything I can.
Now he finished 23rd on the 1 meter and then 15th on the 3 meter. What do you see in terms of potential for Matt just next year and moving forward in his diving career?
Next year, this is his first year at nationals, so next year we want to get up into the top 8 at nationals, and that's a tough chore. There's some really great divers out there. They've got really strong competition when you get to nationals. So getting into the top 8 and getting that All-American certificate, that's what we want to do for him next year.
Well, what did that mean to you to actually be able to come out of that with something?
It was awesome, and I mean to come out with some form of award was nice, and it's a good like marker for the achievement. Before going to nationals, I had thought being in like that top echelon of divers was completely out of reach for me, but after going there and seeing it, I realized like how close I actually like am or could be. So I'm definitely a lot more driven to push for what I can.
How have you seen his diving improve over the years?
2 ways. His consistency. When he first got to me, he was all over the place. He could hit 1 dive, but 2 in a row was really hard for him. So his consistency, and then his mental toughness has really improved. So his ability to go into really tough meets and dive well. Matt just finally found his fire. He finally found his willingness to dive from down in his gut, and that's really been the difference. He wanted to dive. I think he saw how good he could be, and really got going with it. So it's been good.
How has your coach helped you over your years here to develop as a diver?
I would say I owe like 100% of my success to Cliff, because he is fantastic with everything and breaking down all your mechanics and making sure you have the right form and making sure that you do everything right and progressing with the proper steps to be able to get like bigger dives as you go through your season.
What does that mean to you to know that as a coach you mean so much to one of your divers?
Well, I put a lot of heart and soul into my coaching, and of course I'm very pleased, very proud of Matt, and we have a great relationship. So that makes me happy, and that's the reason why I coach.
What do you hope to accomplish in your senior year next year after already doing so well in only 3 years?
Well, I have a pretty lofty goal for next year. I actually want to win everything. I want to take first place on both boards. I know that's like kind of unrealistic because anything could happen, but I definitely want to go top 8 both boards, and I would really like to win.
RIT junior Sam Husselstein also reached the NCAA Diving Championships, where she placed 15th in the 3 meter, becoming just the 2nd diver in women's program history to earn honorable mention All-American honors. In just 21 years, Joe Vicario has faced more adversity than most will face in their entire lives. But despite many hardships, Vicario, or Part-Time Joe as he's affectionately referred to on campus, seems to have found his calling here. As Emily Clark discovered, he began as a volunteer, but has managed to become the heart and soul of RIT hockey.
Joe Vicario has always been a sports fanatic, but it wasn't until he watched the RIT men's hockey team reach the Frozen Four in 2010 that he knew he wanted to be a Tiger.
The Cinderella story of the tournament so far, the Rochester Institute of Technology out of Rochester, New York. They're going dancing to the Frozen Four in Detroit.
I remember that day just watching the Frozen Four game at RIT, and it's like, okay, and I like, basketball, no, soccer, no, and I get that. It was something new, you know? So hockey was one of them.
After Joe arrived at RIT, he set his sights on joining the hockey program. Although he was unable to play, Joe took the initiative to get involved in any way he could.
Joe sent an email to one of the assistant coaches, I don't even remember who, it was either Brian or Dave, and they forwarded it on to me, so I responded to Joe and told him to come by and meet me.
I was a little nervous. I will admit, I was nervous going in there because I really watched it. Because I love sport, you know, but my number one favorite sport was hockey. And I was like, you know, I can't play it. I gotta do something else because my dad played hockey. He's, you know, junior favorite. And I always want to follow his footsteps, but I couldn't. So this is the only way I can follow his footsteps to be part of RIT men and women's hockey.
Joe's inability to play hockey started at birth when he was born with golden Haar syndrome.
I was born prematurely, 35 weeks. I was, you know, my diagnosis was golden Haar syndrome, where everything on the left side is affected. Missing one lung, one kidney on the left thumb.
When we pretty much go to a doctor's appointment, we have like a 5-page medical history type of a thing. 28 surgeries up by the time he was 12 years old.
Very power play game. We practice power play. One fun. Maybe sometimes you need extra jersey.
To me, I just, it's got to be in you. Are you competitive? Are you a competitive person?
He wanted to be involved with the team. We said, sure, Joe, you know, well, let's hear, and this is our practice schedule. And it was the same time every day, but he had some classes at that time when he first joined us on certain days. He was able to make it, and sometimes, and then they always seemed to be here when food was being delivered, all the good things. He was always around. So I said, oh, geez, you're Part-Time Joe, and things are going well. You're around for the wins and all that, but we don't see you other times. And so we just started calling him Part-Time Joe, and I guess it kind of stuck.
As student equipment manager, Joe's responsibilities include laundry, meal preparation, and equipment inspections. However, one of Joe's favorite tasks is setting up the jerseys before every home game.
I put the jerseys on the order, and then I go around, make sure they're perfect. I do it in a certain way, the way they lay out. I want to try to be perfect, you know, and I say perfect game, you know. That's how I always think that way.
What are you doing this weekend for Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know yet.
You don't know?
No.
Come over, hang out with the boys if you want.
I don't like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Come over on Sunday?
Yeah.
I'm a big Seahawks fan, so you better bring some.
We don't look at Joe as the guy who has a few disabilities. We look at him as just a great, hardworking guy and another one of the boys. And he comes to the rink just like us most days, and he may not be on the ice, but he works just as hard as us off the ice.
Joe's journey has been tough since day one, but perhaps the most difficult news came last year when he was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
I was with him to the doctors when I went to the emergency room that evening, and it was getting late. It was starting to worry me a little bit because here he is, you know, he's tired, we're all tired. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Doctor comes back in and he goes, I hate giving people, you know, this type of news. And, you know, nice people like you guys, and I think your son has testicular cancer.
In Joe's case, we had a couple options. One was to do chemotherapy in regards to follow-up. The other one was to do additional surgery for his treatment. Because of Joe's complexities as far as his underlying medical issues, chemotherapy was really not thought to be in his interest. There are some significant toxicities that go along with chemotherapy that could have affected Joe for his entire life, for lifelong. So we really felt that the surgical options were the better ones to proceed with.
Choosing to have surgery over chemotherapy proved to be life-saving later that year, when Joe had to have emergency abdominal surgery.
He was back to school for 10 days. Dr. Scomer had released him, and he was able to go back to school, and I get this phone call on the 12th of March that he's having stomach pains.
Explained it to me, but we gotta put you in the operating table, like, soon. Okay, why? You know, like, it was, they said that my whole inside was flipped.
In my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we sent him back to school too soon. Maybe he needed more, he needed more recovery time. Maybe he pushed himself a little bit too much, not knowing that this didn't have anything to do with the cancer. This was going to happen either 10 years from now, or it could have happened 10 years ago, something that was going to happen regardless. If he would have had the chemo, they wouldn't have been able to do the surgery on him, and he probably would have passed away.
I think he spent 2 weeks in the hospital here in Rochester. And so I would bring guys, a bunch of players left and right, like every day, and try and go see him and just keep his spirits up, because nobody ever wants to go through that.
It was tough. It's definitely tough, especially when, you know, like I mentioned, the family aspect of our team and being brothers. It's tough when you see a guy that you're very close with go through that. We're there to support him. We went on his birthday, and ran a limo, went around, went to the casino. So I think that Joe really appreciated that, and we bonded together and really helped him through it, I think, and we really appreciate all that he does for us.
After missing almost a full season, Joe was excited to get back to RIT hockey. He credits the team's support in his full recovery.
Let's go, guys.
Let's go, Joe, fire it up.
Yeah, no. Come on.
Go, Joe.
When I came back, the first game, I was ready to go. I said to myself, it's going to be a good season, it's going to be a great season, and for me, it's still a great season. Why? All the guys in this room. Yeah, we have up and down. All the guys in this room, let's just don't care for each other, and just a family. That's my #1 win every game.
A lot of pain last year. Went through a lot. And to see him now, and to see him back behind the bench, as far as that's his passion and what he loves. As long as he's been with me, Joey has never, ever, ever had a bad word to say about anybody or anything, no matter how bad his life was and what he was going through. Never.
And we all go through difficult days or tough times, you know, where it gets stressed out for different reasons as coaches, as players. It could be anything. And knowing what he goes through and what a positive person he is really inspiration. I mentioned that word already, but that's all I can say is that it's hard to be down when you're around Joe, and not because of always what he's gone through, but just his outlook on life and how every day is for him.
There you go.
Yeah, you ready? I learned a lot from each guy in his room and the coaching staff, Wayne, Hilton, Dave, and Jerv, and it it was just, for me, learning my life the way I wanted it to be. Nobody can tell me you can't do it. Because I will say, yes, I can. Nobody can stop me.
Don't forget that staying connected to SportsZone is easier than ever online at RITSZ.com or by downloading the SportsZone app for your Apple or Android device. Well, that does it for this edition of RIT SportsZone. So until next time, thanks for joining us in the zone.